We act our parts, mask our faces, check our desires and measure our paces. We cast our eyes to the tips of our shoes. Do we win when we follow these scripts that we choose? One to a seat, row by row. Unwritten rules like seeds we sow. But a rich man's child takes a ragged man's hand, singing, this land is your land, this land is my land. We're riding on this train. We're riding on this train. We're riding on this train. And somehow we're all the same. Hobos riding on a train. Hobos riding on a train. One day the lion lies down with the lamb, and the beggar is rich as a wealthy man. There's a view looking back on every last ride as we make our way to the other side. We'll be riding on a train. We'll be riding on a train. We'll be riding on a train where the seats are all the same. Hobos riding on a train. Hobos riding on a train. Hobos riding on a train.
All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're doing all right on a very hot, steamy, soupy Tuesday afternoon here in Newburyport. I hope you're all having a good day again. Don't forget, follow the show here at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. That's at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. Right here, we'll keep you updated, do the whole Twitter thing. And, well, we have a guy who we're just talking about Twitter with right now. He's the head football coach at Newburyport, Ben Smolski. Coach, how are you? Good to have you on board today.
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Happy almost football season, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There.
Yeah, definitely.
Must be a busy time for you. We were just talking off the air. You get first practice next week, next Friday. So, boy, is it a quick off season.
Yeah, definitely. It's it comes fast. You know, we always said growing up, once Yankee homecoming is over, summer's over. So
yeah. I've been saying once 4th of July passes, like, it really speeds up. It's unbelievable how fast the summer goes. It's a short season anyway around here. But so Friday you guys get going. You must be in contact with all the players already, trying to get things organized, or?
Yeah, we've been. I mean, all summer they're in the weight room. They're running on the field, getting ready for the football season. So I mean, I see them all the time. They're working hard in the weight room, and you know, they just getting ready to go.
What's the deal with that? How much with the rules? How much contact can you actually have with the kids? Do you have to kind of leave it up to your captains to be in charge of that sort of stuff, or do they allow you to organize?
With the contact things? I mean, we were talking about the Twitter, so if there's any announcements about anything, we can do that. We just can't do any football related stuff. It's weightlifting, and
so it's actually
just getting the practice schedule out there and getting them ready to go. So
absolutely. Well, let's start with the outlook for this football season for Newburyport. How's the squad looking? Do you have a feel for it already, or do you really need to get out there and kind of take a look at what you got?
The guys have been working hard. They look good. I mean, we got some big shoes to fill in Owen Bradbury, Miles Maloof last year, quarterback. But we have Charlie Kalane and Thomas Murphy competing for the quarterback position, and there's a bunch of young athletes trying to step up. Some seniors trying to step up to fill the shoes of Miles Maloof at running back. So, but we have 3 returning offensive linemen, starters from last year. We have more returning starters last year than the year before, so we look good that way.
Yeah.
But you know, it all shape out once first couple weeks of practice to see where we stand at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. Now this is year 2 for you now, right?
Yep, it's second year as a head coach. It's my 4th year coaching at Newburyport High School. So you know, this is the senior class. I was coaching when they were freshmen, so it's not like
so you got a soft spot for this group a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely. You know, it's a first group coaching. Second year as head coach, so you know, get to know the kids really well the last 4 years.
So first year in charge on the sidelines last year, though, for this school. This was your alma mater, right? For people who don't know.
Class of 2002.
Class of 2002. All right.
Yep.
So first year, what'd you learn on the sidelines there? Any challenges that were unexpected, or was it all gravy?
Yeah, there's always challenges, no matter what. Whether
that might be
being the head guy or being assistant, you know, just the communication with the staff. During the game, communication with the kids, making halftime adjustments, making adjustments in between offense and defense. You know, so there's always things thrown your way, but you know. It was a good experience, though.
One thing I'm taking myself back to the day you were hired a couple of years ago, and I don't think I've seen a coach since I've been doing games here, and you know, I've been in this city now for probably 6 years or so, covering sports and everything. I don't think I've seen a coach hired with such unanimous popularity as you were. It seemed like every single person I talked to said, "No, that's the right guy for the job. We got a guy that we're comfortable with," and you know, all that stuff. It seemed like everybody I talked to was saying that about you. I don't know if you felt that sort of love coming back at you, but it was there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in the city, and you know, my father was a big figure in the community in youth football, and then he ended up coaching the high school football and softball. So, you know, I know a lot of people in town, and it was great getting the support from all the friends and, you know, alumni and stuff like that, so it was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure on a first-year coach, but in some ways that, I mean, I don't know, maybe that makes it a little bit harder when everybody's pulling for you like that, but it must, I would think maybe that helps. I mean, that's got to help out a first-year coach, right?
Yeah, it helps out. You know, it is, I mean, you just kind of focus on the kids and in the football program, and, you know, it's good having the support, and you just do your thing, you know. Absolutely. Don't get nervous about it, you know.
Exactly. And yeah, so you probably have too many other responsibilities to really be thinking about what's going on outside the field there. I mean, first of all, and you guys have a great home field advantage too. You got a nice new building, a nice new turf field out there. Seems like a good home field advantage when you get that place going. Have you guys found that yet?
Yeah, I mean, usually? I would say, yeah, definitely this past year. I mean, I'd be the first to say, and I'm biased because I'm from Newburyport. Stayland Field, World War Memorial Stadium, best stadium in Massachusetts. And it's just so unique. I was a little against them taking it down the visitor side when they did it, but the final product when they built that wall, it's just something very unique.
Yeah,
it's almost the wall guarding the high school right there. And right. You know, it's just it's an awesome place to play on Friday night.
Does sound bounce off that thing a little bit? Do you find it?
I can't tell. I don't know.
Blocking everything out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like a good spot. I know Coach Stalin. I was there the day that they. I believe that was, what would that have been? The Thanksgiving game, right? Or they inducted
that was the night before Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was a Wednesday night before Thanksgiving a couple years ago, yeah.
And because then the Thanksgiving game was going to be the first one there, so he was there that day, and I remember talking with him that day, and Coach Stalin was just very proud of that field and how beautiful it came out, and that guy was rooting hard for Newburyport then.
Yeah, so. No, he's a great guy. I was in contact with him after I got a couple old school letters on notepads from him after a couple games and before the Thanksgiving Day game.
He wrote you some notes?
Yeah, he was a big support, getting a lot of wisdom from him. Where he coached my father. My father graduated in '71, so he coached him. So it was cool seeing the connection and kind of being able to work with him and talk to him a little bit.
Oh, that is cool.
So
he give you any advice that sticks with you, or is that a private conversation?
beat the River Rivals.
Beat the River Rivals.
Yep,
okay.
and it's a successful season.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can lose all the other ones, but
yeah, that was one of the messages. So.
What was it like? I mean, you guys, you had kind of a. How would you refer to it? Was it an up and down year last year, or kind of a roller coaster ride, or what's the describing?
No, last year we started out a little slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. For those, what
was the final record? Remind me.
We were 6-4.
6-4. Yeah.
For the.
You're going to a bowl game in college.
Yeah. Well, we made the playoffs and won one playoff game the way it works now with the system.
That is different now.
Yeah, it is a lot different because the playoffs start in the middle of the season. You play 6 games. We'll play 7 this year because we picked up Bedford High School. But you play your 6 or 7 games. You get your points. The top 8 in our division, 5, make the playoffs, and you start your tournament at that point.
Before Thanksgiving.
Before
right?
Thanksgiving.
Which is very strange.
It's different.
That must be weird for you because you remember going through the high school days when Thanksgiving was the end of it all. Right?
Oh yeah, and that could come sometimes. The Thanksgiving Day game determined who went to the Super Bowl, who went to the championship.
Exactly.
So it is a little bit different, but
I do hear a lot of coaches complain about that, the format. Are you okay with it for the moment, or?
Yeah, it's good. Good for now. Just whatever they give us, we we go with it. Thanksgiving is always going to be Thanksgiving. It's always a big game. It was definitely a heated rivalry this past Thanksgiving, and that will keep going no matter what they do with the playoff system.
Yeah, it's always been a great rivalry, you guys in Amesbury, but the last few years it seems that these games have been just kind of wild down the stretch consistently.
Yeah, no, it's been a good experience. It's good getting back into the Amesbury-Newburyport rivalry the last 4 years.
I wasn't there. I guess I was there 2 years ago. I was down in the end zone, and one of the real great takeaways for me was a lot of the alums were down there. A lot of guys my age, 30, 35, even 40-year-old guys.
Yeah.
Down there, and they obviously had a fun morning to this point, but they show up, everybody's there, and in the background you hear guys making bets for breakfast and betting dinner stakes on the game, and like legitimate arguments are happening behind me down there, and these guys really pulling for their alma maters, which I thought was very cool. I don't know if you see that in every high school.
Yeah, no, definitely it's a big game. I was looking at the board the other day. Since the 1890s, or I don't know if it was 1880, I can't remember the exact date, but since the late 1800s, we've been playing against each other. So it's been a long rivalry.
No kidding. Again, we're joined right now by Ben Smolski, the head football coach over at Newburyport Clippers. You guys get going next Friday, so a week from this Friday, practice begins, which is pretty incredible. I know some of the kids there also start thinking that it's back to school. So I always find the football guys are very excited to get back on the football field because they get to start, getting the pads on and eventually start hitting some people. I remember this was always tough to be a student because your summer vacation's running out. But the football guys always seem to be extra happy. I guess they just love the game that much.
Yeah, definitely.
To get back to school. What's it like for a coach? You just try to relish the final days of summer, but you get fall in the mind? Is that?
All summer we have meetings with staff.
Always thinking football.
Always thinking football. My offensive coordinator, Coach Callahan, actually lives 3 houses down from me. So
is that right?
I'll go over after I put the kids down and do some football there till 11 or.
Is that a coincidence? Tell me you moved him into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Not going to answer that one.
He liked the road, so
he liked the road.
Yeah.
Very good. That is fantastic. So you guys, that could be some. You guys must know what each other is thinking by the time the season's all over.
Yeah.
That's good. So you got a close staff?
Yeah, close staff. I mean, we have Coach Callahan. It'll be his second year. Coach Weber, he's been there since the mid-2000s. Coach Bobelant he's moving up. He was my freshman football coach. He's moving up to JV and varsity this year.
Can we find him in the weight room right now?
Yeah. He runs his running camp in the summer, and he's our weight room guy. And
you have a son? Is Jade playing football or?
No.
He's not. Okay.
No.
Strictly a hockey guy?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we just got a guy that I coached with in Lawrence back in 2007, 2008, Coach Boardman, and he's going to take over the offensive line this year and work with the defensive line.
So that means you kept some staff from past years before you got there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is that a tough decision for you, trying to get the mix of get your guys in there, but also see what was working in years past?
Yeah, I mean, when I left, or the year prior to me getting the head coaching job, it was Coach Weber, Coach Bobalon, and Coach Smith. So all of them stayed on the staff. So there was only 1, 2, 3. There was only 4 guys, including myself. So those are the 4 guys that the whole staff moved over, because we didn't have a freshman program 2 years ago. And then Coach Callahan, I didn't get the job till June, and we got him on board in July, and he was a Triton Viking, so it was good to pull him away from the other side.
And the rivalry thickets.
Yeah. So, we kept all those guys because I had worked with them. They're all good guys. Coach Smith had to step down this year because he's living the life of retirement and traveling with his wife, but he still he'll be invited down to the sideline anytime, because he's he was a great coach, and he's a great guy.
There you go. Speaking of that, do you encourage a lot of the guys that have come before, a lot of past players, to come back and kind of be a part of it? I know a lot of the programs coaches feel strongly about getting these guys in to speak. Is that a style that you like as well?
Yeah, we every Thursday night we have our pasta dinners at Newburyport High School. Parents will pick up the food. Sometimes Newburyport Gridiron Club will buy the food for the kids, and we'll all eat. And we had a guest, a Newburyport alumni guest, every single pasta dinner throughout the entire year, and they would speak after. So from Brent Salvatore to John Bugley, class of 2005, to Danny Sullivan, Larry Russell in the 60s Super Bowl teams, and we even had Coach Stalin come before our playoff game. And I'll tell you what, you talk about a speaker. You could hear a pin drop.
I bet.
He was a very good speaker.
I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how old Coach Dalen is right now, but we had him in not too long ago. Probably, I would say maybe 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. But we had Coach Dalen in not too long ago, and the memory that guy has, unbelievable. He was name dropping players from decades and decades ago, and remembering certain plays and strengths. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I don't remember some of the people I work with on a daily basis. And this guy's going back 3-4 decades. It's incredible.
No, definitely
unbelievable. But and you're right, a great speaker.
Yeah, so it's good getting all those guys back. We had Coach Gaudiano come back for Thanksgiving, because that was his last game was with those seniors when they were sophomores in the overtime win. So he came and did the Thanksgiving Day speech for. We didn't do the pasta dinner, but it was after the last practice. We had him come down as a guest as well. So coaches and alumni, any former Clippers, we're going to try to keep that going. Yeah. Get some other, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s,
It's like a radio station. Excellent. Well, that's good. It's a great tradition to have. I didn't realize you guys did that every Thursday night, so that's very cool. Coach Gaudiano, actually, I remember, the year that he retired or stepped down, he had not told or maybe he told his team, but it was not public knowledge that he was going to be done after that Thanksgiving Day game. I was talking to him before the game down on the field. Decided not to mention a thing about it, and then after the game, that's it. And I said, "Wait, what?"
He told the coaching staff, and that was it.
That was it. So did he tell the staff that day, or
he told us a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time.
So in-house, you guys knew.
Yeah, right. So it was an honor coaching with him in his last game. He was my coach my high school career too. So it was a good time coaching under him.
Well-liked guy. I guess I was trying to think too. So that was a few. I guess how many years ago was that? He stepped down.
That was 1, 2, 3. It'll be 4 years ago.
Is he still around the program? Because I know he's around the school to get him out. Is he still a part of the program, or?
I have conversations with him. Quite a bit, just to keep in touch, and I think he was helping out at Brooks Academy this past year with Pat Foley, Coach Foley. Oh, okay. Who I played with as well. So
because you played with everybody.
Yeah, he swept him up and got him out of retirement. Just doing positional coach. So
very good. Well, we'll talk. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more football. But I do want to mention one thing before the break. I did not realize this, but we called the Newburyport bed race the other day. I did not realize you were a part of the bed race last week. How? Why don't you tell the public? How'd you do?
All I heard is we were third place when we finished, but there was a few other bed races after us, so I don't know. We got best in show.
Best in show.
So just because of the design, we had a bunk bed.
For those of you who don't know,
flag.
they had the bunk bed and the pirate flags. Very good. How many people were out there for you guys?
I mean, there was a good 20 guys.
Yeah,
it was
I thought so.
Greater Newburyport Mothers and Families Club.
Excellent.
So it was, there was guys running on the side, guys standing on the side, standing on the top bunk. It was a good time. It was fun.
My first one. Pretty wild event. I don't think I anticipated how intense that thing was.
You're pushing a bed down Federal Street, so
Yeah,
it is it's pretty intense.
Tyler, our producer here today, Tyler Neufeld, who's behind me. You'll see his hand pop into the screen here in just a second. He has that down, but Tyler's doing the radio producing today and the TV, and he was down there calling the race with us at the finish line.
Okay.
And we were laughing. We're looking to our right, and we're like, "My goodness, this is like 8 people deep on the sidewalk." Like it was very crowded.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. I mean, granted, we were in the finish line, a very popular spot, but it seemed like a huge turnout.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't been to a bed race for a little while.
Yeah.
I used to go when I was a kid all the time, so I was surprised by the number of people that were there.
You got to make an appearance now as the football coach, right? You got to be out there and making new friends. But it was a great event, and like you said, once homecoming week comes and goes, start talking football season.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing today. When we get back, we'll have much more with Coach Smolski here. We're getting you ready for Newburyport football, which is next week, next Friday, first practice. So Coach Smolski is in it, ready to go. And we'll be right back. Much more with him in just a moment. Big thanks, David Kramer on the TV side, producing, Tyler Neufeld today, and the whole gang here putting this show on. So we appreciate it very much. Thank you for tuning in on a Tuesday afternoon, a very hot Tuesday afternoon in Newburyport. Keep it here. My name is Drew Moholland. Much more Afternoon Drive when we get back.
I'm gonna find me somebody, someone to keep me satisfied. I want a little woman who's nice and sweet. Don't want no woman, want every downtown man she meet. I want a woman, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna find me somebody, someone to keep me satisfied. I want a little woman to treat me right. Don't want no woman who just wanna fuss and fight. I want a little woman, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna find me somebody, someone to keep me satisfied. I want a little woman who ain't gonna wreck my mind. Don't want no woman doing wrong things all the time. I want a woman, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna find me somebody, someone to keep me satisfied.
All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on Chopper Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're having a good Tuesday out there, staying cool on a very hot day. I know the heat indexes and the air quality, all dangerous conditions today, so stay in the AC, get in the pool. Hopefully you're listening to us from a cold environment today, so but be careful out there. It is hot. We are joined by Coach Ben Smolski of the Newburyport Clippers football squad, the head football coach. Coach Smolski in the house here today. We've been talking ahead of first practice Friday, so it's a busy time for the coach. Coach, do we have any ideas what the numbers are going to be? Do you have any idea as far as like a tryout turnout already, or do you kind of just wait and see until that first day?
I mean, before we met before the end of the year, it's like 34, 35 sophomores through seniors. Had about 20 freshmen sign up, so that's where, where we're at. And we'll get a more accurate number once everyone signs up and camp starts.
Gotcha, but you already have an initial sign up, so you get a good idea.
We have a general idea, yeah. We did an official sign up, and then they have to sign up online and stuff like that through the school.
It just caught my ear earlier when you said you guys just went JV varsity last year.
Last year it was 2 years ago. It was JV varsity. Last year we did freshman varsity. We started with JV, but we got so many injuries we had to scrap the JV.
Okay.
So we had 31 kids, and we were down to 25 kids at one point. We couldn't run the JV program.
Gotcha. So that's a little bit different than when you were playing, right? It used to be you'd easily kind of field the 3 squads, right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes freshmen would come up and play JV when I was there, but for the most part. 3 programs ran, so numbers is that's the goal, is to get the numbers up and establish those 3 programs.
But that's not just a Newburyport thing. That is nationwide. I think numbers down. I don't know if that has to do with other sports kind of blossoming, or maybe I know there's obviously the safety issues that you can't hide from.
Yeah.
In this 2018 day and age, but
yeah, it's probably a mix of both of that.
Yeah. What obviously you're not too concerned though about as far as numbers go, though, right? I know some schools are genuinely concerned about the football numbers and turnouts. Newburyport doesn't seem to be at anywhere close to that point yet. But
yeah, no, I mean we'd always like to. The goal is always to try to get 40, a little bit more than 40 for the sophomore through senior, and 20 plus freshmen.
Yep.
So we'd always like the numbers to be a little higher. Go around, talk to some of the kids in the school, try to tell them what we have to offer them, and and we'll just keep doing that, and hopefully we can get the numbers up a little bit.
It's always interesting for me too. I don't know if you've already got the MIAA memos or all that stuff for this year. I'm sure there's changes that you guys have to adapt with as head coaches every single year. I do know that it's interesting picking the brain of a 2018 coach, though. Even last few years, it's just, especially somebody your age who is not that far removed from playing, really. Mm-hmm. And you look back, and how many times did you used to have a coach say, yeah, we got his bell rung, but we'll throw him right back in there. That does not happen anymore. Yeah. And I know that there's a lot more responsibility on head coaches and coaching staffs to monitor injuries. Talk about how life has changed from when you played to now that being a coach.
I guess, on the coaching end of things, we, the state or MIAA, we take a concussion course. Yep. And you take the course every year.
Have you already done that for this year?
Yeah, I sent it an email we sent it to the athletic director, secretary, and just to kind of be refreshed on that, just to be aware of the signs of concussions.
Yep.
So everyone on the staff does that. We all
every coach.
Yep.
Wow.
Every coach on the staff. Then we're all CPR certified. Where when I first started coaching, we didn't have to be. Not everyone had to be CPR certified.
I did not realize that.
Now I think there's a new law where we have every sports team has to have an AED down at practice. So all the that could be from dehydration. That could be if something happens in sport injury or something. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot more focus on safety and stuff like that through the courses and through the AED being brought down.
So the CPR certified too. That's a legit. You got to go in there and do perform the acts of CPR in front of somebody, right?
Yeah, we have it's set up every year. We take it through the school. Our wellness teachers,
gotcha.
Miss Heath, she's ran it the last few years, and it's every 2 years you get recertified, but a course runs every year. So we're lucky to have it in-house. Where you don't have to, it's set up for you as coaches, so right. it makes it a little bit easier than having to go sign up for a class elsewhere. So Newburyport High School takes care of their coaches, which is good.
That is great. I'm sure you've probably already had a couple of instances like this where do you find yourself at times having to maybe protect the kid from himself? Sometimes a kid comes off the field after a hard hit and I'm good to go. I'm going back in, coach, and you're saying, hang on 1 second.
Yeah, we got to make sure they get checked with the trainers and stuff like that. So definitely.
So there is that element of that. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's always just it's crazy to think about how different the cultures have changed all the way up to the NFL level now. You hear about it consistently. So, you just mentioned that you take the CPR classes in the school. You're also a teacher in the school, which I knew and actually forgot until you just told me off the air. So why don't you tell everybody what you teach there at Newburyport?
I teach freshman and sophomore history. So. I do world history for the freshmen and the sophomores. For the freshmen is world history 1 and 2, and then sophomore year they do world history 3. Then we go to US 1, so it kind of changes there, and then they finish up their junior year with the US history.
What are we teaching in the fall? What are you going to get if you're in one of your classes?
We're doing comparative religion. So I think we start with Hinduism and Buddhism.
Oh, okay.
And in the sophomore we do the Russian Revolution.
start nice and slow. Religion right out of the gate, huh?
Yeah. So it's I've been doing some curriculum work in the summer with some of the freshman teachers, working on creating some uniform lesson plans, and just finishing that up this week.
On top of all that, you got young kids. So you're a very busy man, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. But you get the family time in the summer,
Yep.
Find time. Meetings are usually after the kids go to bed, so 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
How old are the kids again?
Thomas is 3. He's going to be 4 September. And Timothy is he's 16 months.
Unbelievable. You got them hanging around the field already? Or?
Yeah, my... They've been to the weight room with me 2 or 3 times a week. So my 3-year-old's on the elliptical, pushing the 16-month is pushing the stability ball around.
Beautiful.
And the 3-year-old's tackling the tackling wheel that we just got for the team too. So
start him young.
Every time we drive by the high school, he goes, "That's a high school. I want the tackling wheel. Let's go tackle the tackling wheel." Okay.
That is fantastic. Don't forget to say hello to your wife. You can give your wife a shout out. You get in trouble if you don't do those things.
Yes.
What's her name?
Eileen.
Eileen. The wife of a football coach is almost just as important job as the actual head football coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
can be difficult sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in season, right?
Yeah. No, she's probably dreading the start of the season.
She's trying to hang on to summertime a little bit.
Yeah. So, but
that's too funny.
That was the one thing before we got married. He said, I coached track before. I'll give up track, but I'm never giving up football. So that was a verbal agreement going into
in the blood
before we got married.
Married a football guy. There you go. That's too funny. So but it is a whole family affair, right? Once you're in it, Friday night games, it kind of becomes a rite of passage, a tradition. It's just a part of your life. Friday night lights comes around, right?
Yep. No, those kids. So we tell them sometimes, I see my football players more than I see my own kids in the fall. So they're basically, we try to create a family atmosphere amongst our team. It's football. Football is family.
Absolutely.
So it's just kind of, just try to communicate with that kids. They got to be there for each other.
What I'm sure you're thrilled to get out there with your guys. Do you have any of them as students too in class?
Yeah,
they try to take you, or do they avoid you?
They don't have a choice usually because the guidance puts them there. But
oh yeah, that's true.
No, I've been teaching going on 13 years now. I think it's 13 years. I've been for over a decade, and I've had students in football players as students, and it's good because you get to know them on a completely different level, and they know your expectations and everything else going in.
Don't get in trouble in that classroom, though. I bet if they get in trouble in that school anywhere, you know about it, right?
Yeah, we'd find out.
I bet
we take care of it.
There you go. How? So who are the veterans going to be? Did you already name the captains in the offseason?
Yeah.
Is that already done?
Yeah,
why don't you drop those guys?
We do the captains at the banquet. All the kids vote, all the coaches vote, and we had three gentlemen voted. Senior captain Robbie Johnston, he's a H-back, which is a fullback, and inside linebacker. Seamus Webster, senior captain. He was a slot guy last year, and I think we're thinking of moving him to running back. And he was a cornerback, and we're thinking of moving him to outside linebacker.
Moving pieces.
And we had a junior was elected amongst his peers as well, Trevor Foley, who plays center and inside linebacker as well. So.
Okay. Cool. So you've full faith in those guys. You get some good veteran leadership there in the upperclassmen.
Yeah, definitely. You know, just because the other guys weren't named captain, we have some good senior leaders. You know, on the offensive line, we got Ralph Wokel, Thomas Doyle, Thomas Murphy coming in. He's competing for a quarterback job. You know, there's a lot of guys that Jake Lane. I mean, talk about a committed kid. You know, driving in the spring, getting to school at 5:30. I see him on the field. He's there at 4:30 running routes by himself.
No kidding.
Yeah, so we got some committed kids.
Wow, that is good. When you have that sort of stuff, usually for every sport in high school, I find you can kind of do a direct tie between the senior leadership and that sort of thing and success. If you don't have that, if it's kind of weak at the top, sometimes that can trickle down, it seems. Is it more important in football having great captains when you got these big squads? You hope to have 40 guys as part of the program, and it's a lot for one coaching staff. You really do need the upperclassmen and the guys to buy in, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps if the older guys are buying in and they're communicating the expectations, especially where we have 18 sophomores or so this year coming in, and they learned the ropes last year a little bit from the freshmen, but you know, it's their first time coming into the varsity locker room and seeing what it's all about. So they're definitely the older guys, the upperclassmen, have to help lead them and show them the way.
So do you have a style of play that you hope to bring in every year, or do you kind of look at the group first and see what you got? I mean, would you rather be out there throwing the ball around, or are you more of a run the ball and pound it?
It's basically based upon what we have for, whoever the quarterback ends up being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In a row, you're trying to find a quarterback.
If he can pass the ball, we'll pass the ball.
Yeah.
Our quarterback, we do like our quarterback to run the ball as well, because we run a lot of option. So he has to be involved in the running game. I would like to be as balanced as possible. Last year we were 72% run, 28% pass, and that was just because of our quarterback last year was more of a running guy, and
he was a converted quarterback.
He was,
right?
yeah, he was Cape Ann League Defensive Player of the Year, and he was a starting quarterback. So he was. I always joked with him, "Owen, you're a linebacker playing quarterback."
That's it.
But he stepped up. He was a good leader, and he did the job well. So this year we have a sophomore Charlie Kaline and senior Thomas Murphy are competing, and we'll see who gets it.
When Owen was a freshman, I think he was a freshman on the high school hockey team for the Clippers.
Who's that? Owen.
Owen, it was the year, he was just kind of a role player on the team. Didn't get too much ice time as a young guy. They would throw him out there every now and then to be a physical presence.
Yeah.
And one game, there was a scrum in front of the net. As you can imagine, it wasn't the prettiest goal in the world, but puck bounced in off something, went in. Long story short, I'm up there in the booth looking from a distance, called the goal for somebody else, Yeah. They ended up giving it to Owen. And so, we had to, correct it and say, the goal was actually given to Owen Bradbury, yada, yada, yada. The fact that we got his first goal wrong, Owen did not let me forget about it for
awesome.
for 4 years. Every single time we reminded him, every time he saw us, he would remind us of, you remember that first goal you guys got wrong? My first goal. Who does that? It was, so
That's funny.
Quite a character.
He's a character. Good kid.
I actually did it again later in life, too, when he actually got really good and scored again. I messed up a goal, and I said, I can't believe I've done it again. But
that's funny.
But, some of the views there at the Graph rink can be a little difficult for
I would say so.
Calling a game. But Owen Bradbury, good character. Who are some guys that you're looking, and you can either name drop or just kind of tell me to wait and see, whatever you want to do. But you got some guys that you're kind of keeping an eye on that could be game changers for you?
Could be game changers.
Interesting. I think we got to let that play out.
Okay.
And we're good. Welcome back.
Okay.
Little EAS test signal.
Yeah.
That's the first time that's happened.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
I have no idea. Tyler, do you remember?
Something about game change. Something about game changers.
Yes. Anybody you're waiting on for that could step up and be a game changer this year for you?
That's what we're gonna have to wait and see. Okay. Definitely. There's some kids who, like the kids that I've mentioned before, Seamus Webster. I'd say Charlie and Thomas, who are competing. Got a lot of young guys who are skill guys who can do well, and Thomas Doyle, Ralph Wokel, offensive line, Trevor Foley. But that's just we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun year. I can already tell you're excited about it. You guys get going the Friday after Labor Day, so mark it on your calendar. We legitimately have the calendar out here. Where it is marked already. We're already. Wynn Damon and Richie Eaton will have the calls of those games here on Chopper Radio again this year. Those guys have been doing it for, geez, I don't even know how many years now.
Before me.
Before you, yeah.
Well,
There we
Richie
go.
at least.
Richie, yeah. It's been a long time. So those guys will be ready to go again this year. Coach, why don't you, first of all, pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
First time I met you in person, so this is great. Enjoyed it very much. Why don't you give a little shout out to the fan base and say, come on out and watch Newburyport Clippers football this year.
Come to World War Memorial Stadium and support your Newburyport Clippers. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely. Friday we open first.
Friday, September 7th, Linfield.
Game
7
time?
p.m.
7 p.m.
Yep.
Get there early. Get a good seat.
Yep.
Make a lot of noise.
Sounds good to
Very
me.
I promised Coach here that I'm telling you, he does a very good job. He promised the family that summertime's family time. He's got dinner planned, so I promised I'd get him out of here tonight, nice and early.
Yeah.
So we're good. You going? What part of town are you going to?
We're going to Sandy Point. We're going to the beach. We got lunch packed, ready to go.
Beautiful.
Go jump in the tidal pools.
That's how you do it on a warm afternoon, right?
Yep.
Thanks for making some time, Coach. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Coach Ben Smolski, Newburyport Clippers head football coach. Practice starts next Friday, so we had a nice little preview. We'll have him on again here during the year and hopefully get some of his players on too. But good guy to root for right there, as I think the whole community knows by now. So enjoy Newburyport football here when it gets going. And Coach, thanks again. Have a good dinner, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Yep, thanks a lot.
We'll be back in just a couple moments here on Afternoon Drive. We're going to finish up with our little producer segment here to close out the show. Keep it right here. My name is Drew Moholland. Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. So thanks again to Coach Smolski. Great guy. Enjoyed that very, very much. Now I'm in, as there's Tyler here on the camera. See that? Now we're back to me. As you'll see, Tyler's going to jump onto the show here actually for a moment. So I am in control of the TV production machine here, which is... well, it's dangerous.
Yeah, you've done it before.
Tyler, how are you? Tyler Neufeld, how you doing?
Great.
Coach Smolski there. What a great guy, huh?
Very pleasant.
Very easy to root for if you're a fan of Newburyport Clippers football. Enjoyed that very much. It was my first. I had talked to him on the phone before. For some reason, I had thought I had met him in person, but I knew as soon as I walked in and saw him that
No.
I had not met him before. So it was great to have him in studio, and a real good guy. So really going to be easy to root, at least for me personally, root for Newburyport football this year, and good success to him and the Clippers. Again, their first practice is Friday. First game the Friday after Labor Day. So. It is quickly moving towards football season. Tyler Neufeld, first of all, before we get going, this is something that I wanted to do when I first started the show. I thought we have a lot of young producers in here, people that are younger than me, new perspectives and all that stuff. I'm feeling older these days, but new perspectives are always good. And thought it would be kind of a good idea to get the producers on for the final 10 minutes of the show. And just kind of have them talk about whatever they wanted to, whether it's stuff that's going on in their world, stuff going on in the schools. Tyler's just graduated college, so that's where he's coming from.
Yep.
First summer out. But first thing I did want to say to you, though, Tyler, before we get into this, is a great job calling the Newburyport bed race with me.
Oh, I mean, you did a great
last
job on
week.
that.
It was a lot of fun. My first experience doing it. Yours too, right?
Calling it, yeah.
Yeah, you've been there several. You lived there, so you.
Yeah, it's the corner of my street, so.
But I had a lot of fun. I thought it was a blast, and thank you for helping out with it. It was great.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Now that we've moved on from homecoming week, and now that the show here is yours, what is going on? What topics are we talking about today? I know you've brought some to the table.
So I don't know how much. We'll start with. We'll go chronological.
Chronological.
Because that's easiest.
Okay.
So, as I've mentioned, I've been going down to tongue-tied. I've been going down to New York every weekend for the past. This was the 5th or 6th weekend in a row. I forget which one.
Wow.
And I'm taking a break now. But 2 weekends ago, I went down to New York, and then I went down to the Jersey Shore.
And this is because you're a musician. You got bandmates in New York. For all those who don't, haven't been listening, but yes.
So I've got they're all down there. I'm up here.
Yep.
It's kind of a bummer, but whatever.
You're the traveling guy.
I'm the traveling guy. So anyway, went down to the Jersey Shore, and then coming back, I was going to go to Hartford and catch a bus.
Okay.
And I switched at the Palisades Mall, which is right over the Tappan Zee Bridge. I forget what side. And I switched cars. When I switched cars, I got into my friend's car. It was me and 2 of my friends. And you know how a bunch of malls have like a big ring around them?
Yep.
And they have like a set of lights? Got on like the set of lights, and we pulled up to one of the lights. Couldn't really see if it was green or red because of the glare, so it was red when we pulled up. Waited a second, thought it turned green, started to go, inching forward, and someone behind us honked, telling us, "Oh, you need to go. It's green." Like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I've done that. And then we pulled up to the next set of lights, no problem. About 300 feet, huge like white, not sedan, like kind of like an Escalade, but not an Escalade.
Okay.
Pulls up, lady leans out of the passenger side window, flipping us off, screaming, look at me. We're very confused. She's still screaming. My friend flips her off. Not a great move, but responds.
Yes, we don't encourage this.
It was a bad move because she was even more enraged. And
it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, she started it, but then what happened? No, then it got worse, and then suddenly there was a man walking towards us, and we realized, oh my god, it's the driver. The driver's gotten out of the car. It's like a 5-second ordeal. So, the light turns green. We step on the gas, pull onto the highway, bumper to bumper traffic.
So you're with them the whole time.
So they pull up like beside us, and they're just giving us like death glares, and then they cut through. So it could have been worse, but
that's
it was just
pleasant. Yeah, so a good road rage story.
Yeah, I've just never seen someone get that upset over something so small so fast.
Keep driving in New York. I think you'll find some more of that maybe. Maybe they were Yankees fans. It was a tough weekend for you.
I remember the license plate. I'm not going to say it was New York, but it was a vanity plate.
It was a bad week for Yankees, so maybe they were just Yankees
Maybe they were
fans.
upset,
Yeah,
but we had a Connecticut plate, though.
That's true. Well, in Connecticut, you could be on the Red Sox side of Connecticut.
True, but
Yeah.
they don't know.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, so you got a good road rage story. That's good. I'm glad you survived through that. That's important.
Yeah.
How's the band doing?
We're doing good. We just played a show.
Are we ever going to have the band on the show? They ever going to come down here and visit and be on the show? I don't think I've ever pitched that to you. That would be a good idea.
Could we get...
Yeah, come on. We can fit anybody in here.
Maybe. I mean,
How big's your band?
5 people.
We can do 5.
I don't think we can get a
I
drum
fit
set
a whole
in here.
Little League team in here.
Yeah, they didn't have a drum set, though.
That's true. Drum set would be tough. You'd
And
have to bring
synthesizers.
so yeah, you'd have to scale down a little bit.
Yeah.
Give us the acoustic version of the band.
I mean, if we're in the area, we could organize it, but I have to get them up here in the beginning. But we had...
They could come down here for you once.
They won't. They won't do it. We played a show this weekend, though.
Oh, you did? Where'd you play?
We played at Long Beach Island
Okay.
at it was not a wedding, and it wasn't the wedding reception. It was the after party.
Oh.
So they did the wedding on a Saturday, reception right after, and then it was Sunday.
Wow.
So we played at the house, and it was on the bay.
Seems pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Nice.
We played for 4 hours, which was good.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Is that an overtime gig, or do they hire you for 4 hours?
They hired us for about 4, like 3.5 to 4.
Good for you guys.
It was, yeah, we're trying to get paid right now. Trying to work that out.
Is that an issue sometimes for musicians, hunting down the money?
Yeah, I mean, it's awkward because it's our singer's friend's family, so he's
Yeah.
trying not to be awkward about it, so that makes sense. But we've done gigs in the past where we haven't gotten paid, and we were told we were going to get paid.
It seems to be a rite of passage for musicians.
Yeah.
A few gigs like that, right?
Being exploited by venues is common.
That's tough on the local musicians. Come on.
Yeah, but
Although weddings are expensive.
yeah, they're really pricey. So I don't know who's. We'll do fine. We'll get the money.
Yes, somewhere down the line. All right, so that's good. What else is on the producer of the day segment here? What else is on your mind here? I know did you say you had a couple topics, or was it just the road rage you were bringing to the table?
I mean,
That was first.
that was the big. That was the big one.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just wishing my friend's going for a job interview in New York right now.
Oh,
Is it 4 o'clock? At 4 o'clock.
It is 3:55.
Ooh, yeah.
So he's about to walk in.
He's about to walk
When
in.
was the last job interview you did?
Oh, I actually did it. I did it here. Sarah was kind enough to let me do a job interview
Oh yeah.
for a place on 42nd Street.
Was she hard on you?
No, she was quite nice. The
Yeah,
interviewer?
She no, Sarah. Like I thought.
Oh,
you
no,
were
no.
going to say she trained you or something. A little fake job interview.
No, she's like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you can do this. It was the worst interview I've ever done in my life.
What was it for again? Tell me.
It was for an HR company.
An HR company. Okay.
I had no idea going into it.
How bad was it? People love bad job interviews.
Oh, it was really bad. So it was I got the interview through a friend because he worked at the company. And the way he kind of worded like all our like we were emailing each other and texting, it sounded like he was going to be the interviewer. It's like, oh, I've got this in the bag.
Yeah.
And I tried researching the company beforehand, and there was a paywall. You had to pay to read the information about the company.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to pay for something like
Sure,
that. Doesn't make any
makes
sense.
Yeah.
So he hops on. We get on like a business version of Skype, and it's just him. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to introduce you to my boss now. Flips it around. He's like, I'll be here, but he's going to be doing the interview. And it was a combination of the most cliche interview questions with the worst answers I could have given.
Turned into somebody who was not yourself.
Yeah, it was. One of the questions is like, "Why are you so passionate about HR?" And I was like, "Can we come back to that?" And the worst one was
You asked for a pass.
I asked for a pass. The worst one was they asked me like, "How would you better like the workplace environment?" I was like, get rid of cubicles."
And that's probably the whole place.
And that was they're like, and you could see in the background there's no cubicles in the office.
Oh, jeez.
It was really bad.
Yikes.
So
Yeah, that's tough.
they ended with, "We'll get back to you."
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you didn't feel good about it.
No. Well, I also didn't know it was an HR company going into it either.
Okay.
So
Well, you live and you learn, right?
yeah, partially my fault, partially their fault.
It's a good lesson though for the kids out there. I feel like everybody has a bad job interview along the way, right?
Oh yeah.
Don't you think?
If you don't, I mean, hey, good for you.
Probably a good learning experience, right? I had one.
Oh, let's hear it.
I had one. It just wasn't. I remember it was just out of college. It was like it seemed like you'll find like a lot of the jobs when you're first on the job market, like there seems to be sales opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
And sales really isn't my thing. Like I could probably sell you something, but it's just not my thing. And a lot of it is like, not commission. You get paid for whatever you sell and that sort of thing. So I wasn't really into it anyway. I remember thinking I had just got a haircut like the day before just for the interview. Hated the haircut. Like tried to fix it with like, and then like I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, doesn't even look like me. Didn't feel good about appearance going in. I was going to the sales guy and I got like the the Slick Rick sales guy. It's looks like one of the agents from Jerry Maguire or whatever that movie was. That was Jerry Maguire, right? Tom Cruise, remember that? Show Me the Money? That was Jerry Maguire. Oh, showing my age. There we go. Great movie. You should see it. Yeah, so looked like Tom Cruise, like Rick, sunglasses on and everything. We met for coffee, and my heart really wasn't in it. A lot of just questions. What's your sales technique? I don't have one. I don't have a sales technique at the moment. Well, what would you do in this situation? Well, I'd probably, I'm not really sure what I'd do in that situation. So it was one of those things where if your heart's not in it, you're not going to get it.
No.
It's a good lesson.
That's fair.
But it was a good experience, though.
Yeah,
I was more prepared. I learned that how people go after you a little bit, so that's good.
I mean, you learn a lot from your failures.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this wasn't a failure. This was a good first producer segment. Do it again Thursday. You here?
Yeah.
You're going to be here Thursday?
I
looked at your watch. I love that. Fantastic. Thank you. Tyler Neufeld producing the radio side today. Producer segment. Very fun. Enjoyed it. Big thanks again to Coach Smolski, Newburyport Clippers head football coach. He was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Big thanks to David Kramer on the TV production side. He does the YouTube, does the Port TV, all that good stuff. So big thanks to David. As always, we'll see you back here Thursday. We'll have another great guest on tap for you. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Joppa Afternoons. My name is Drew Moholland. Stay cool out there. We will see you Thursday. Have a good rest of the afternoon. Bye-bye now.
Hi, this is Tracy Brown from the Salisbury Chamber of Commerce, and you're listening to 96.3 FM, WJOP LP Newburyport.
Joppa Radio 96.3 FM would like you to know that the Newburyport Stamp Club meets on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month at 1:30 in the afternoon at the Senior Community Center at 331 High Street in Newburyport. The meetings are open to the public, and club members are available to answer stamp collecting questions.
Your break is a lens that you look through. Mine is a window you stare into. And I want you to see it. Is like a mirror. You're all mirror and smoke. And the closer I get, the harder I choke. Spoken word.